welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you a dart frog tank that I have built out of an old aquarium tank. I have two frogs in a smaller tank and I want to move them to a bigger enclosure and upgrade their enclosure because now they're almost a year old and it's time that they had a bigger tank. So I'm going to show you how I made that. This is the 30-gallon that I'm going to use. These are the frogs that will be going into that tank. Right now they're in a 12 by 12 by 18 Exoterra. First I measured the tank and then used masking tape to mark the tank's measurements on the table. That way I know how big to make the background. Then I used a scissor and an X-Acto knife, a glue gun, and styrofoam to make different length rectangles and glue them together in a way that I think looks good.
When love comes in, oh la la la. Love comes in, oh la la la.
Next, I added some cardboard pots to make hides in places that I could put some plants. Then I made sure that the background fit inside my tank. I also made a separate piece for the left side of the tank for the background. This is where I'm going to put a waterfall. Next, I used cement to coat the styrofoam. I used a spoon to put it on and spread it over top of the styrofoam. Once that was done, I cut plexiglass to silicone into the left side of the tank so that I can have a small water portion. I used the separate piece of background to place above the area that will be filled with water. Before siliconing it in, I drilled a hole through the background so that the water would be able to come out. I wish that I had done this before cementing it so that the hole would have a better finish. Next, we bent some plumber's pipe and crimped 2 pieces together to form an L shape. The next step is to silicone the background in. There were some areas like this one that I didn't like, so I used moss and silicone and moss to cover them. I also put moss in some areas that I thought would look good. While waiting for the silicone to dry, I took the piece of driftwood that I wanted to use and cut it so that it would fit nicely into the tank. It wasn't easy to cut. Once it was cut, I put it in the oven at 250 degrees for around 25 minutes. This is so that I'm sure that the wood is safe to use, since it was a piece that I had just found at the beach. I also added more moss to some areas on the tank that I wanted covered. With the silicone dry, the next step is to make the bottom. I used hydro balls for the first layer. Then a screen mesh for the second layer. For the third layer, I mixed coconut fiber soil and aquarium sand for better drainage. Then I topped that with more eco earth and added my driftwood and my plants.
When love comes in, ooh la la la. Love comes in, ooh la la la.
I added more soil to around the roots of the plants. I still have a lot of plants that I want to add, but they don't have them in stock right now. And then I gave the tank a big mist. So I do have a lot more work that I want to do to this tank before the frogs actually do go into it. I want to add a springtail culture, so kind of like a cleanup crew for the tank, and I also want to add a lot more plants. I want the plants to grow out and grow in to develop their roots and get really healthy and big before the frogs go in. I also of course need to add a lid to the top of the tank and get some lighting. I'll do an update video when I do all that stuff and when the frogs actually do go into the tank, so you can see how the tank looks like when it's completely finished and grown in and with the lid. I will have to make a lid for this tank. I have some ideas about how I'm going to do it, and if you want I can make a video on that as well. So I have a lot of other videos on my dart frogs and my other animals, so be sure to subscribe to see those videos and the other animals that I do have, and give this video a like if you enjoyed it or if you got any ideas for your own dart frog tank. Also let me know if you have any comments or feedback. I'm always learning and I feel like I do know a lot about dart frogs, but there's always so much more to know and to learn, so if you have any suggestions. I really want to learn more about plants. I sometimes struggle with getting the plants to grow. I feel like I'm buying plants and replacing plants often, which I don't want to do. I want them to grow and be healthy and thrive into the tank. So if you have any suggestions about plants or anything like that, just let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.